Okay, so before I get into the little NASCAR news I could find as of lately, when it comes to certain stuff and just discussing certain things, I gotta mention this very quick for those who watch other stuff on my channel. Things are gonna be kind of out of whack in terms of upload schedule, because honestly, I've been kind of a wreck again. Like, I don't know, it's easy to get back in that kind of cycle, and it's happened again. Because I'm just doing too much at once. Is that to a messed up sleep cycle and everything? It sort of messes me up on a regular day basis, especially when I have things to do on, like, during the day. So I've just put myself out of whack. I can't, the upload schedule is going to be inconsistent. I'm just going to say that with certain stuff. So yeah, I just had to mention that, put that here, because it's going to be a rough rest of August at least. Like, August is going to be rough treading in terms of what I upload. But with that out of the way, because I just wasted a minute talking about, stuff that doesn't really have to do with the vent station, let's talk about the vent station. Alright. So, this episode is going to be interesting. Let me talk about a few things, talk about a few drivers, how I feel about them, what I want to see from them going forward, essentially. This one's pretty vague. I don't have a particular topic. Though, the main guy discussion, oh boy, so you know what? I'll just get this out of the way now. Matt Crafton. So, it was announced Matt Crafton. Okay, well, I haven't seen a proper report, but I swear, someone said, someone said he's retiring, someone said Thorsport is just letting him go. Maybe it's both, I don't know. But, just put it simply, Matt Crafton is gone. I don't know if it's gonna be for good. Maybe he might go part-time, like Johnny Sauter style. Because once Johnny Sauter left Thorsport, he started running part-time with the various teams. But yeah, it is really gonna be an end of an era. Now I know I'm gonna talk about this right now. Might as well. Let's see. Actually, I gotta mention this right now. So, growing up, I think I've mentioned this before, but I'll just say it again. I mainly watched the Cup Series starting in the early 2010s. Then it was, once we got to 2015. 2015 was actually the first year I actually started to care about the lower series. Started watching lower series. Like, that was the first year I started watching the truck. Now, I did watch a few truck races before 2015, but I didn't start properly paying attention until 2015. But during the time I wasn't paying attention, Matt Crafton was one of the few truck drivers I knew about, and I also heard about how great Top of Dying is and everything, mainly through video games. But anyway, we're talking about Matt Crafton here. Dude is great. I mean, he doesn't win that many races, but consistency is key, and that's how he won the 2019 Truck Series Championship. And bear in mind, that's what the current playoff system that Crafton won the championship without winning a single race. And that just tells you the lack of competition. I might have talked about that in another vent station video in regards to the playoffs, because I did briefly mention. And if I didn't, I'll probably be part of the playoff predictions video that will be coming up in a week or so, whenever playoffs are about to start. And well, Matt Crafton, yeah, it's sad to see him go, but at the end of the day, we see him in the past few years, like, he just does not have that consistency anymore. Like, I think Crafton still makes the playoffs somehow. I don't know how, but I think Crafton's still been managing to make the playoffs. I could be wrong on that, because I haven't paid attention to him in regards to how he's been doing. But I don't know, if he's been making the playoffs this whole time, then props to him. He's doing something right, especially when there's more competition, quote unquote, in the Truck Series. And well, I don't know. Hopefully things go well for him. I don't know. And I might as well mention this now, because I watched a whole bunch of different YouTubers react to different videos and whatnot. I watched a whole bunch of different YouTubers react to the races and everything. And a lot of them just love to crap on Matt Crafton. I mean, it's kind of easy to at this state. My goodness, I don't know. I always thought it was kind of harsh, but when you think about it, it's like, and the fact that Richmond was the last straw. Richmond was the last, I don't know. Oh, whatever. I don't know. It is what it is. Like, that just happens with sports in general. People pick a point to turn on someone officially. I mean, I'm kind of guilty of this too, but yeah, so Crafton is gone, or is going to be gone, I think at the end of the season. Like, that's not effective immediately. I think they're going to let him finish out the season. Which I feel like with a guy of Crafton's stature, just let him finish, It's been a good, 3 decades at this? Almost 3. Almost 3. He spent his entire career in trucks, I swear. He's made like one cup start here and there. And like, think one of his main starts was driving in place of Kyle Busch when Kyle got injured in that Xfinity race at Daytona. And then, he missed out on Daytona 500 for obvious reasons. Other than that, Crafton mainly stuck to trucks. Basically a career truck series driver. Which, props to him. So I'm not sure how many of these... I don't know how many of these guys could imagine themselves being a career truck driver. But, hey, Crafton made it work, and he's seen as the standard, essentially. Like, someone that the young guys could look up to going up through the series, especially when more and more young guys started to use trucks as the ladder, which young guys have used truck series on their way up to the Cup Series, but it wasn't that many, in a sense. So, I don't know, unless I'm just saying, I don't know, I'm probably just saying things, but yeah, Crafton going, it is what it is. Another thing to mention, you know what, I might as well talk about this now. So, Josh Williams, I mentioned during the Indy Josh Lee Vent Station episode, was that, I think, because I recorded that one like 4 days after Indy happened. So, I knew about the news. So, Josh Williams was released effective immediately after Indy, either Indy or the race before. It was probably Indy. But, yeah. So, with that, and Josh Williams has been back, though, in the Xfinity Series, making sporadic starts for, I think it was Alpha Prime in the 45 car. Which I think is the flagship, well, I say flagship 45. Like, that's a part-time entry. Like, I don't know. There's like 10 different guys who run the 45 every year for Alpha Prime. But anyway, so Alpha Prime, that's an interesting one. I mean, Alpha Prime's a decent team, so, here's what it is. Parker Retzlaff's been doing all right with them, but I think he's had some bad luck lately. So, I don't know. Josh Williams is a weird dilemma because he's like 30 at this point. Dude's been, dude's been lagging around the Xfinity Series for a while. Finally got a big opportunity in Call League, and a lot of fans a lot of fans asked for it? I mean, I asked for it. I know people have been saying it. Like, there are people saying, just give Josh Williams a ride. A decent ride. Because DGM, not to crap on DGM, but they're not the best ride if you're running full-time, just trying to do something with it, if that makes sense. I don't know. But it is what it is. I mean, Josh Williams managed to make it work sometimes, and that's what made him considered underrated in a sense, unless I'm just interpreting what people are saying on the internet the wrong way, because I tend to do that. I'm not the best at reading what everyone's saying, or fully understand what everyone's saying, so maybe I'm just getting it wrong. I swear people sort of put Josh Williams as an underrated guy who could outperform the equipment and just give him a good ride and he'll do something. So, which is why I guess people had quite a few hopes for Josh Williams in Call League racing. Now, it didn't turn out well. Obviously, it was really disappointing. And the Iceberg, I remember when Iceberg made a video, I think this was predictions for 2025, saying how he didn't expect anything from Call League this year. I thought that was harsh, but I honestly don't blame him. Josh Williams, I don't know, he couldn't perform in that thing. Christian Eckes is a really solid truck driver, and actually really solid ARCA driver. Like Christian Eckes is good, but here's what I have to say about that. Christian Eckes, I don't think he's been performing the best. I don't know. I feel like there hasn't been highlights of him, but he hasn't been garbage either. But here, you know what? Here's my answer to it. Since I'm not quite sure on Christian Eckes, I know not many people really care about my opinion. There's only 2 guys who watch the Vent Station episodes anyway. But I gotta say this. Keep Christian Eckes, be patient. I think that's the main thing that a lot of these teams are missing. Heck, a lot of them are missing this during the Bushwhacker days in the mid-2000s, late 2000s actually, when you think about it. When the Cup guys were just dominating the Xfinity Series, was lack of patience. A lot of the young guys at the time, for anyone who doesn't know about the bushwhacking, it was basically back in 2006 to 2010 was the main offender. 2006 to 2010 was the years that the Cup Series drivers were running full-time in the Cup Series and well, at the time it was called Busch Series / Nationwide Series, sometime in between. And it doesn't seem too harmful, except for the fact that they were taking up all the top rides. So how Richard Childress had, still does, has an Xfinity Series team, where like a lot of guys they work their way up and then they'll eventually join RCR. That's how Clint Boyer joined RCR in the Cup Series in his rookie year, 2006. He climbed the ranks with Richard Childress. Or Carl Edwards working his way up through Roush, back when Roush still had a Xfinity Series team in like the 2000s. Like these guys, Brad Keselowski for Junior Motorsports when they were starting up. Like these guys, I don't know, like they worked their way up, and they just they had all the top, they were hogging the top rides, winning races. I won't count Brad Keselowski, because at that time he was still a young guy during the bushwhacking. But, sorry that I mentioned him. But, yeah, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, those guys, and Kevin Harvick, just winning races left and right in the Xfinity Series, just dominating. But not only that, taking up the top rides, and because of that, well, a lot of the young guys on their way up, it's almost like, think of it this way, for anyone who watches Formula 1 and just sees the Red Bull debacle, where, like, anyone who's not Max Verstappen has this really high expectation. If their stuff just looks bad compared to Max, they'll be booted. Like, not even finishing out the season. Liam Lawson, if you heard him, he got like 2 races racing as Max Verstappen's teammate. 2 bad races. Those 2 bad races in the first 2 races of the season, he's dumped. Yeah, Red Bull's like that. They've always been like that. That's why they've been criticized heavily. It's very weird that way. That's what the Xfinity Series was like in the 2000s. Christian Eckes, I know this was all about Christian Eckes. Good Lord, I went on this long explanation. I'm sorry. But basically, just the key to certain success is just hold things out for certain guys and see what happens. Christian Eckes, especially with what he's done in ARCA and the Truck Series throughout the years, I'd keep him. He's a solid guy. I don't know what the sponsorship is like with him. If he doesn't bring his own sponsorship, I still want to give him a shot. I feel like he's someone you can really bank on, I know him, assuming Eckes lacks sponsorship, I know that could be sort of a debacle, but it's like at the end of the day, sometimes you just gotta hold out for certain guys, You gotta hold out with certain guys, see what happens. That's why like people are really upset that Corey Haim is still in the Truck Series. After like 4 years, this is his 4th full-time year in the Truck Series, I think. I could be wrong. Because at the end of the day, it's like Corey Haim is really good, but like, assuming the Joe Gibbs stuff is true and that they're still petty about what happened in ARCA, because Corey Haim drove for Venturini in ARCA, and Ty Gibbs drove for Joe Gibbs, so those 2 guys are butting heads throughout the 2021 season. They were the only 2 guys to run full-time that year in ARCA in 2021. Like, assuming that stuff's true, that's really petty. It's really disgusting. Especially when, like, Corey Haim could be one of the best Toyota prospects out there. I don't know if Joe feels slighted by that or what. I don't know. But that could really screw him in the long run because, my goodness, there's like, Toyota doesn't need this, especially when I feel like their future is very weird. Because think about this. Denny Hamlin, I know he signed an extension, but considering his age, you never know when things could change with Denny. I feel like there's a cloud over his head, and people are waiting for that void to be filled. Because even though there's an extension, that could become a void fairly quickly, depending on what happens in the upcoming years. Like, his days are kind of numbered in the Cup Series, and who else? Chase Briscoe is kind of a weird bag because he joined. He's like his 5th year in the Cup. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is his 5th year in the Cup. And he won Pocono, but other than that, it feels like something's off. The people have mixed feelings about him. I feel like he might not be it. I don't know. I feel like he might be secure there, but I don't know yet. Christopher Bell, I feel like he's set. I know his season, after the first 5 races, his season's been kind of rough to look at. But Christopher Bell is set for the future, I feel like. Unless something really stupid happens, I feel like Christopher Bell is set for the future. I don't see a reason for him to leave. And then there's Ty Gibbs. And Ty Gibbs, honestly, unless there's a falling out between his grandfather, I don't see him moving elsewhere. I feel like he's basically like an Austin Dillon where they're just set for life. Oh, except Ty Gibbs. At least Ty Gibbs was good enough to win the in-season challenge, even though a lot of people crapped on in-season challenge, myself included. So, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, like, Ty Gibbs, like, I don't know, basically in that Ty Dillon situation, he's going to be set for 10 years. Watch in 10 years when I say how old I feel. I already feel old that Austin Dillon. Watch Austin Dillon still be around too, just to make me feel even like just to make me feel 50. Even though I'd be 33 in 10 years, because I'm 23. So yeah, there's that. Like I said, so Christian, I guess keep him. I know I'm still all over the place. I'm sorry. That's just me. Then again, I'm venting. Austin, let me see. Let's look at this whole debacle. So, this whole Xfinity situation. Austin Hill, I swear he's there because who knows why he's at RCR. I'm not going to talk about it. Screw Austin. Screw him. Both Austins, even though Austin Dillon got his legit win last time out. Screw both of them. Ty Dillon, please keep him around. I don't know how he's the best Dillon, but I don't know how he's the better Dillon, but he somehow is. It's weird. Though I think stats-wise he's doing worse than Austin in points, but then again, who expects much from Colleague in the Cup Series? I don't know. I'm not going to dive deep into that, but yeah, it is what it is. Like, I feel like Ty Dillon in the Xfinity Series would rock full-time. But then again, if he wants to run Sundays, whatever. People seem to like Ty Dillon in the Cup Series anyway, so I'm not going to crap on him. I've grown to like Ty Dillon over the years, even though the GMS thing didn't turn out well. So it is what it is. I never thought I'd prefer Ty. So yeah, that's about. Was that really it for me to say? Other than the Crafton thing, the rest of this was kind of just not planned out. But yeah, like that's basically how I feel about it. Oh, one more thing. I might as well talk about this. Oh boy, the Canada Series. Actually, no, I'll save that for a separate video. So, yeah. Not much else to say for this one. Sign off here, so thank you so much for watching this one. That is about it.